Hey everyone, Coach Eric here. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I appreciate you watching my videos. Here I got one of my young guns. We're doing a little pressure work. And I'm going to go over some of the characteristics that Cole has here in his golf swing that we see in a lot of great ball strikers. And here's his trace. You got the little white ball in the middle and you've got the yellow line, which the ball is going to trace a yellow line following his pressure. So you can see that Cole's pretty balanced as he starts. He's 50-50, left side and right side. And on his left foot, he's 58-42 toes and heels. And on his right foot, he's 42-58. So he's fairly balanced throughout the golf swing at the beginning. Now, what's interesting is, and you see this in a lot of good players, as he starts to push the club away, you're going to see this 50-50 on the bottom. You're going to see the lead side increase to 51. So he's pushing target side just naturally to press that target side and come back with the club. So as he's starting the club away, okay, you'll see him now start to move to his right. So that little push forward got him moving to the right. All right, so as we continue back, I want you to watch the little white ball here. And as Cole starts to move the club away, you can see that he's increasing his trail side pressure. He's at 60%, 66%, 74%, and he's working his way up. He gets to a point where he's 96% into his trail side right now, right in here. Okay, and he's also got 57%, if you look at this number up here, 57% into his trail heel, which we call a counterbalance. Now, what I like about a counterbalance, and this is exactly what Cole and I talked about prior to this video, I wanted Cole to feel as though his pressure on his feet followed the rotation or pivoting of his hips. So if his right hip is going to move deep and behind him as his trail leg extends, that means the pressure should move here. So what he was before was way out here on his toes trying to restrict this hip. So we've got Cole moving into his trail heel, allowing his pressure to follow his pivoting of his hip. So as he starts to go back, now here's where it gets interesting. From P2 to P3, watch the ball. This is what we see in a lot of great ball strikers. The pressure now is starting to move back into his lead side. So he's gone from P2 at 96% into P3. He's at 75% in this trail foot, which means he's moved 20% back to his lead foot. And as he continues back to the top into P4, you're going to see that that pressure has shifted 59% into his lead foot before he even finishes the backswing. Now, in good ball strikers, what we're going to see from this point down is we should start to see that lead side pressure increase. So we should get this to increase even more as he moves down into what we call position number 5, where the lead arm is going to be parallel to the ground. So let's see what Cole does here. As he starts down, there's the pressure shift into the ground. Okay, and let's move it into P5. Whoop. So right around P5, right in this area here, he's got 72% of his pressure into his lead side. We have him with his right foot planted, which you'll see in a lot of great ball strikers. I want that heel on the ground in P5. Okay, and what you're going to notice if I click another frame or two here, just around there, he's got 72-28. So you've seen the pressure is not increasing. He's going to start going into his rotational manner here. So as he gets into the P5 position, you're going to see that both knees are back to where their original position in a flex position. Lead arm is adducted just slightly into his chest, and the shaft is on plane. Okay, now here's the interesting thing. You can see that now he's into 76%, and now he's in 78, and now he's going to rotate 79, and this is where the lateral motion has stopped and the rotational motion has started to take over. So I'm going to go ahead and switch charts here, And let's go down into the P5 position again. Right about here. And I'm going to change graphs here. And I'm going to take it back to a point where you see this white peak going down, where Cole is still slightly on his trail foot. And what you're going to see is from this point, this is the velocity of his lateral motion. So you can see he's on his right foot here. And as this white line starts to peak up, you can see that he's going to start moving quickly into his lead side. So you can see this number up here on the top right is a negative 85, which means his lateral motion is favoring this side. And as he starts to click down into the P5 position, you're going to start seeing that lateral motion peak the other way to a point where he's at a lateral peak of a positive 133. So he's really increased the velocity of his center of pressure moving forward. Now, at this point is when we reach that peak velocity. Right after that is the release factor, where he is going to start releasing into the ball, and the hips are going to start to rotate, and now he's creating angular velocity, or the hip is turning out of the way. So there's that little pause we saw in his pressure where he gets to here around 72, then gets to 76 and 78, and that pressure shift stops and rotational is starting to happen. Okay, and there we go. We've got a nice banked right foot here. We've got a good clearing of the hips and a beautiful release of the club and a beautiful neck release here to follow the pivot of his body. This is a great job by Cole. So real quickly, nice early shift to the right side are some of the keys. Okay, an early pressure shift. Beautiful counterbalance into the trail heel. Early pressure shift in the movement pattern from P4 to P5. Maximum vertical pressure into the ground should happen here at P5. Okay, you can see by the white ball here. And then once peak velocity is reached, that ball is going to stand still for a little while as the rotational forces start to take over. And this ball went dead straight. Beautiful job. Please subscribe. Thanks.